One of the most important elements of a formal seated meditation practice is our physical posture. Our mind and body are intimately interconnected, and when we sit with a relaxed, stable, and dignified physical posture, this heavily influences our mental posture as well and supports us in being more alert, more relaxed, more calm, and more clear. Traditionally, meditation is practiced in what is known as the 7-point posture. The 7-point posture is an ancient set of posture points that are said to align our physical body with our energetic body. These posture points have been practiced for thousands of years by monks, yogis, and meditators, and they also have a very practical application for helping us to feel more stable and at ease in our bodies in our meditation practice. The 7 points are to sit cross-legged with your hands in your lap or on your knees, to have a straight back, to widen and relax the shoulders, to open the heart center, to lower the chin, to allow the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth, and to have the eyes then either gently closed or slightly open, depending on the type of meditation. It's helpful to have these 7 reference points for our practice. There may be times during seated meditation where you feel uncertain about the position of your body. You may wonder where to place your hands, or where to place your tongue, or what to do with your legs. These 7 points give us a reference on what to do with our body so it doesn't become a distraction to our meditation practice. Meditation is commonly practiced while sitting on a cushion. However, you can use any blanket or pillow that works for you, or you can also invest in a traditional meditation cushion known as a zafu. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can also get a zabuton, which is a cushion that you set your cushion on that helps to provide some support for your ankles and your feet as they rest on the ground. But the important point is to have something that you can sit on that elevates your hips above your knees. And this can prevent your knees and legs from falling asleep. Because when your knees are above your hips, it restricts some of the blood flow and it makes it a lot more easy for your legs to fall asleep, for you to get tingling sensations in your legs and just have a difficult time sitting. So not only does it support blood flow, but elevating your hips a little bit above your knees also supports your posture, making it easier to sit up straight, which is important for our meditation practice. Now, it's also perfectly okay to sit in a chair, and if you choose to sit in a chair, then sit with your feet flat on the ground. So sitting at the edge of your chair with your feet flat on the ground and trying to still support yourself without the back of the chair. Unless you need to rely on that for support, then that's okay too. It's not recommended to lay down when practicing meditation unless there is a specific type of meditation that requests you to lay down. Because when we lay down, we tend to get a bit drowsy and start to drift off and fall asleep. Whereas the point of meditation is really to pay attention. So to cultivate an alert attention and alert awareness, we want to sit up straight. We don't want to be laying down or be too relaxed to where we're going to drift off into our minds or perhaps fall asleep. So if you have difficulty sitting cross-legged, sitting in the traditional 7-point posture, you can also adjust this demanding physical posture to one that suits your needs. So the 7 points of a more body-sensitive posture could be to sit on a cushion or chair. You can also experiment with standing if you'd like. To arrange your hands in any way that's comfortable. To hold your back as straight as possible. To keep your shoulders relaxed and chest open. To hold your head at whatever level is comfortable. To allow your jaw to be relaxed and to keep the eyes closed or open depending on your preference. So I'd like to go through these 7 points together. So allow yourself to find your seat, find a cushion, or find a chair that you can sit on, And let's go through these points together so that we can really feel into what is a stable posture for our meditation practice. And again, one of the important points of having a solid physical posture is not only does it support the alertness of our mind, but it also makes it so our body is no longer a distraction. When we are cultivating our mindfulness, when we are paying attention to our minds or whatever the object of our particular meditation is, the body can become a big distraction. We can feel pains, we can feel aches, we can start to feel tingling, or our legs can fall asleep, or just any other physical discomforts. And while we can bring those into our meditation, while we can pay attention to the sensations that our body is experiencing, we want to mitigate and minimize the amount of discomfort that we feel so that we enjoy our sitting practice, so that we are encouraged to do it more, and so that it can really be a source of happiness and peace for us rather than being a source of physical pain and emotional and mental disturbance. So find your seat and let's go over these 7 points together. So the first point is to sit cross-legged. So for those of us that are sitting on the ground, we'll go over that first, and then I will explain a bit more about what to do with your legs if you're sitting on a chair. So sitting on the ground, you can sit in any variation of cross-leg position, whether that is sitting with your legs crisscross applesauce, or whether you're doing a more advanced posture. Sitting in half lotus is a traditional posture where you have the foot of one leg resting on the thigh of another, or you can sit in full lotus if you're able to do that. I'm not quite as flexible to do that. I can kind of force myself into it, but it's not really a comfortable posture for me. I prefer the half lotus, or a variation of it really, where my foot's not on my thigh, my foot is sort of resting on top of the calf of my other leg. And I can sit like this for a long time. This is how I feel most comfortable. If you are sitting with the half lotus position where you have one leg on the thigh or rested on top of the other leg, then switch legs every other practice or every once in a while so you don't create a muscular imbalance. So you'll just switch to having the other leg on top of the one that you weren't using. And I'll try to give an example of the full lotus. As I mentioned, I'm not very flexible, so I kind of have to force myself into it, but it's something like this where you have one foot on top of the opposite thigh and the other foot is on top of the opposite thigh. And if you can sit comfortably in this posture, this is the traditional recommended seating posture, as it creates a lot of stability with both your feet sort of holding your legs down, your knees down to the ground, which is another helpful point. Get out of this posture. So it's not really comfortable for me to sit that way, but this way is very comfortable for me. And when you're sitting down with your legs crossed, do the best you can to rest your knees on the ground or to get them as close to the ground as you can. That's another important point. So first point of the 7-point posture, sit with your legs crossed. Whatever way that is comfortable for you, whether that's full lotus, half lotus, crisscrossed, applesauce, however you feel comfortable sitting in a cross-leg position. And if you're sitting in a chair, then sit in such a way that your feet are flat on the ground, sitting at the very edge of your chair, and just sitting up straight with your feet resting on the ground. So that is the first point. The second point is to sit with your hands in your lap or on your knees. So traditionally, the instructions here are to put your hands in what is known as the cosmic mudra. And this is a very ancient mudra, which are simply hand gestures that involves placing your left hand in your right hand with the tip of your fingers at the base of the fingers on the opposite hand, and then just gently bringing your thumbs together and resting it on your lap. And this is a gesture that's supposed to symbolize openness, sort of like you're holding an open bowl, which just allows yourself to be open to the wisdom coming in through your meditation practice. It also has a practical use of when you keep your thumbs very closely together, If you start to lose your mindfulness and get distracted, it's likely that your thumbs are going to collapse, they're going to fall down, and this can be just another signal to you to come back to the present moment, to come back to your object of focus. And this is by no means something that you have to do, but I wanted to share this first because this is the hand gesture that is traditionally taught according to this 7-pointed posture. Now, mudras are simply hand gestures that can either symbolize something like this representing openness, or according to certain traditions, more esoteric traditions, there are different elemental energies associated with each finger, and when we bring them together in different ways, they can have a different energetic effect on our bodies. It's a little bit more esoteric or advanced, or something that's not very necessary for the basis of just learning how to meditate. However, I wanted to speak to what mudras are because they have been utilized in meditation for thousands of years. Some people sit in Gyan Mudra. This is a very popular image. Some people sit with Gyan Mudras, bringing the thumb and index finger together and then resting it on their knees. Some hold it up like this. You might have seen this image many times before. And the symbolism of this one is the index finger is representing the ego, representing our thinking mind, and our thumb is representing the spirit, our higher self, our awareness. And so it's sort of putting the thumb over the index finger to represent a symbol of being humble and surrendering our ego to our higher self, to our higher wisdom. So it's another nice meditation mudra that you can experiment with. You could also just place your hands on your knees. You can place your hands on your knees with the palms facing up, or really any way that's comfortable for you to rest your hands in your lap or on your knees. And I encourage you to find different ones that, experiment with different ones to find the one that works for you, and then to stick with that one at least for the duration of your meditation practice. So you're not caught up in trying out different ones throughout a whole meditation. Just try one out, sitting with one mudra or hand position, sitting with another, trying it with another, and find the one that is comfortable for you. So the third point is to sit with a straight back. Now, sitting with a straight back, having a straight spine, really does have a powerful effect on our minds. Our physical posture does affect our mental posture. And when we sit with a sense of dignity, with this upright posture, it does foster a sense of alertness within our minds, a sense of confidence, a sense of stability, and a sense of ease that it really supports our witnessing, our observing of whatever it is that we're focusing on in our meditation practice. There's also an esoteric principle to this posture in that it allows the energy within us to flow more harmoniously. So according to ancient Indian philosophy, we have this channel, this central channel called the Sushumna, that is also recognized in different traditions around the world. There are different names for this central channel, but essentially by sitting up straight, we allow the energy in this central channel to flow more naturally, flow more harmoniously, and this also supports a peaceful quality of mind during our meditation practice. So don't worry if you can't sit up perfectly straight. The idea is not to force yourself or strain. It is to sit upright in a way that is also relaxed and comfortable. So find a way that works for you, and don't worry if it's perfect. It's just to have a point of reference for how your spine should be. It should be alert, it should be upright, and yet relaxed. Now, the fourth point is to widen and relax the shoulders to open the heart center. So this is a point that also, I think, supports point number 3 in sitting with a straight spine. When we open our heart and we have our shoulders back, it helps us to sit up straight. And when I'm getting into my posture, what I like to do is I imagine that my whole body is sort of hanging from my heart center. And I get into this by first raising my shoulders up, pushing them back, and then dropping them down, and then just kind of hanging my whole skeleton from this point, from my heart center. And the one thing we want to be careful of here is not over exaggerating our muscular movement. So we don't want to be so far pushed back and have our chest so far extended forward. Again, we want to find a balance to where it's comfortable. We want our shoulders to be back and our chest to be up in a way that feels really natural, really relaxed, and not exaggerated or not causing any physical strain. So the fifth point is to lower the chin. And this point is easy enough. We simply just tuck our chin in slightly, and what this does is this elongates the back of our neck. And it's important, again, here not to strain or over exaggerate, so don't force your chin all the way down to your chest. We're just gently tucking the chin down to elongate the back of our neck. Now, point 6 is to allow the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth. So if you place your tongue right behind your two front teeth, and once you've done that, swallow, you'll notice it creates a suction. It sort of sucks your teeth, or your tongue to your teeth, into the roof of your mouth, and then you can just rest it there. And it allows your tongue a place to rest. You can also, if it's more comfortable, rest your tongue on the bottom of your mouth and sort of just hang your jaw down. But it's traditionally taught that we put the tongue behind the roof of the mouth, and there is another esoteric principle to this, in that energetically there is a point there, a meridian point or nadi point, depending on the tradition, and that we're stimulating that point by pressing our tongue there. But I think more practically, it just gives our tongue a place to rest. I know when I was beginning my meditation practice and I wasn't aware of this traditional posture, my tongue was a distraction at times. I would be meditating, and as I'm sitting here being more aware, I'm noticing what's occurring within me, and a variety of body sensations. But I remember distinctly a few practices where I was like, what do I do with my tongue? Do I rest it? Do I put it on the roof of my mouth? It just really was a distraction in my meditation. And it's something I didn't really think about when getting into a meditation practice, just how much the body can be a distraction, and which is exactly why I think these 7 points of reference are so helpful, and they just give you something to focus on for each part of your body so that it doesn't become a distraction. So whether you like to or feel more comfortable putting your tongue to the roof of your mouth, or it feels more comfortable to rest it on the bottom, experiment with both and see which one feels more natural for you. But traditionally, having the tongue on the roof of the mouth, swallowing to create some suction there, and then just resting with that position, that's how it's traditionally taught and practiced. So the 7th and final point is to have the eyes either gently closed or slightly open. And this is a point that's actually debated among different schools and meditation traditions, and whether you have your eyes slightly open or gently closed has certain benefits and drawbacks. So some of the benefits to sitting with your eyes closed is that it really helps to focus your attention inwards, and this is really useful, especially for beginners to meditation practice, because we tend to have our attention focused externally, looking out to the world, and have less awareness of what's going on within us. So when we close our eyes, it helps us connect with ourselves more and really see what's arising within us, see the emotions, see the thoughts, see the sensations that are coming and going within ourselves. But one of the drawbacks to closing your eyes is that you may get drowsy, you may be a bit more sleepy, especially if you're practicing early in the morning or later at night. You may also have a tendency to get lost in thought easier if your eyes are closed, because when your eyes are closed, you may not be as attentive to the present moment reality that you're experiencing, and you may get a bit more carried away by your thoughts. So if you are practicing with your eyes closed, which I actually recommend for most of the meditations in this course, especially if you're new to meditation, then I recommend practicing with the eyes closed, but just keep in mind that though your eyes are closed, you're still being attentive to the present moment. You're still paying attention to the sensations, to the thoughts, to the emotions that are occurring, and trying to avoid getting lost in thought or carried away by your thinking. Now, the other way that meditation is often taught, the other way that this point is often taught, is to have the eyes just slightly open and to be focused on a point on the ground 2 to 3 feet in front of you. And essentially, this is just very relaxed, in a very relaxed and open way, looking at the ground and not really on any particular point, unless you're doing a specific meditation that involves that, but just generally having an expansive, open awareness that's just looking in the general direction of the ground and just resting your eyes half open. And what is one of the benefits of this style of meditation is that you're not blocking your senses. You're allowing everything in to be a part of your meditation. You're allowing your ears to be open, you're allowing your eyes to be open, you're allowing your physical sensations, everything is included in your meditation practice. So it can be very powerful, but one of the drawbacks is that we tend to get more easily distracted by what's going on in our circumstances, especially if we're in a place where there's a lot of movement, then we can get distracted by that. So I encourage you to play around with whether you close your eyes or whether you have your eyes slightly open, staring at the ground in front of you, and see which practice you naturally gravitate towards. And it's perfectly fine to practice with both. Just stick with one for each practice. So when you sit to meditate and practice with your eyes closed, then keep your eyes closed for the entirety of that session, and perhaps on a different session, sit with your eyes slightly open and keep that eye posture for the remainder of that practice. Because if you're too caught up in whether to have them closed or whether to have them half open, it'll just become a distraction. And the whole point of having these 7 reference points is we have sort of a definite point that we focus on, and in doing so, we can not be so caught up in what position our body is in. So to review, the 7 points are to sit with your legs crossed, to have your hands in your lap or on your knees, to sit with a straight back, to widen and relax the shoulders to open the heart center, to lower the chin, to allow the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth, and to have the eyes either gently closed or slightly open. So after following these 7 points and finding your meditation posture, let's take a few moments to simply allow ourselves to feel how it feels to be seated in this posture. So just paying attention to how it feels. Noticing the sensations of your body making contact with the cushion that you're sitting on or the chair that you're sitting on. Noticing the sensations of your breath as it comes into and out of your body. Noticing any thoughts that may be coming or going. Noticing any emotional tone to this experience, any emotional energies that may be present, and just witnessing everything that is happening in this moment now while sitting in this meditation posture. Hopefully you can notice that by sitting with a sense of dignity, sitting with this uprightness in your posture, how it creates a sense of alertness and stability within your mind. And this really supports us in maintaining awareness of whatever is arising within us. It helps us to stay calm and composed while looking deeply within our own minds, our own emotions, and whatever's happening within us and around us. Having a stable physical posture truly supports us having a stable mental posture. And we can also invite ourselves to have a very soft and gentle smile. So just a little smile can stimulate all of these facial muscles that are associated with happiness, with joy. And when we bring a gentle smile to our posture, it helps us sit with a bit more peace, a bit more joy. Thich Nhat Hanh says that sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. So simply by smiling, we can create a bit of joy within ourselves and have the ability to smile to whatever arises. I often find that just by sitting with a smile, how it really helps me feel a lot more peace and contentment. So let's now take a deep breath in together. So inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Let's do that again. Taking a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And deep breathing during our meditation, at the beginning of a meditation, really helps us to arrive in the present moment, to let go of whatever it is that we were focused on, and also to let go of any tension that we may have in our bodies, in our muscles, so that we can truly be relaxed and at ease in the present moment. And I'd like to invite you to make this your ritual before starting any meditation practice, is to just breathe deeply in your nose and out your mouth a few times, just to help yourself let go of whatever it is you were doing and to arrive more fully in the present moment. It often takes a few moments to get settled in our meditation posture before we actually feel at ease, before we feel like we're actually here for ourselves and the practice. So let's take in one more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And you can gently open your eyes if they're not already open, and stretch out your legs. Give yourself a gentle stretch in whatever way feels good for you. And I also encourage you to do this after your meditation practices, to just stretch, to loosen up your legs, and maybe to also have a regular stretching practice in general, whether that's a yoga practice or just stretching a few minutes each day. That can also help to make your seated meditation practice more comfortable. It's actually the origin of asanas, the yoga postures that are so popular today. They were originally taught so that one can sit in a comfortable posture to support their meditation. So they definitely go hand in hand and work very well together. So by taking care of your body, stretching, eating well, sleeping well, taking care of your physical and mental health, this will also support your meditation posture and your meditation practice and help you to have more pleasant, joyful, and peaceful meditations.